So I want to talk today about personal power in the sacral chakra with kids and how they feel everything in the adult parent. And we as parents have this idea that we can hide our feelings and our emotions from our kids, right? Like they don't know we're pissed at their dad, or they don't know that we're pissed at the parent, and we're just gonna hide all this, and we'll scream and fight about it when the kids go to bed. Kids are empaths. They are extremely spiritually connected when they're born, and where they start to get disconnected, it's not until later in life, after they get conditioned by the societal habits and behaviors, or just the habits and behaviors in their environment. Google epigenetics. It's fascinating. Kids literally become whatever's in their environment. It like imprints in their DNA. That's when that spiritual connection, that energetic connection starts to disconnect. But as kids, they feel everything, and their energy responds to your stress and your behaviors, and it will manifest into health issues over time. I'm an intuitive health medium, and this is what I do for a living. Like, I can look at a person's energy and see where they've suffered emotionally and how it manifests into illness. So with kids in the sacral chakra, I'm going to use an example today with a lady I saw in the store. So this video might get kind of long. So this lady was in the store with her daughter, and she was just had her head turned. It was like not giving her daughter any attention at all, and her daughter was being really good. Like, she was being absolutely precious. And she was like, "Hey mommy, when we get home," and like asking, very polite, to do things. And the mom's like, "Yeah, I don't care, whatever," and was like dragging her. And the daughter's like, "Okay, mama." And so the daughter grabbed a roll of toilet paper and was like, "Mom, we need toilet paper." Like, real nice. She's like, "Hey mama, we need," and she like went to hand it to her. And the mom like whacked it out of her hand and goes, "We're not buying anything today. I'm just here to pick up my meds. Come on." And then I tell you, this little girl just dropped her head and never said another word. My heart, yeah, it was sad. So what happened energetically that I saw first, when she was talking to her mom and asking about doing things when she gets home, and the mom was like, yeah. Her sacral chakra energy just shrunk and turned this like deep burnt orange. It's normally a bright like orange. It turned like a brown and just shrunk. Now when our energy gets so stressed or so like traumatized and it shrinks, that causes the fascia in our physical body to shrink, and it literally squeezes the organs, and it pulls on the muscles and tendons, and that's where the chronic pain comes in. That's where the illness starts to set in, because now everything's being squeezed and pulled because the energy is shrinking and it's pulling on the physical body. And with this little girl, because of how her mom was feeling, you could tell she thought she did something wrong, which caused her to think, what have I done wrong? What can I do to be a better little girl? How can I make mom happy? And she instantly just caved. Her heart energy shrunk, and I could see the squeezed feeling in her heart, and I could just see her energy completely deplete, and she totally, completely embraced everything self-blame. She blamed herself for everything that her mom was going through that day. And maybe her mom, is struggling financially. Maybe her mom has other issues outside of being a parent. But this daughter, because of how her mom felt and how her mom was treating her, she was taking full responsibility for the mom's behaviors. And you could see herself placing blame, which is what I see in adults when I go into their childhood with my clients as adults. And I go into their childhood, what I saw today in this little girl is exactly what I see in my clients now, that with their illnesses that they have now from those behaviors in their childhood. Now, as in children in childhood, when they suffer in personal power, or they have bullying issues at school, or they're doubting themselves, or they're caring too much about what other people think, they start to have bladder control issues. They start to have urinary tract infections. They start to have stomach aches, or they'll have constipation, which is more common in boys than it is girls, but they'll start to have constipation. Girls will have more like diarrhea or bloating and cramping in the stomach. Both boy and girl, they'll just eat a little bit, but they'll feel really full because they're so bloated, because their solar plexus chakra is also suffering because they're lacking in confidence of self, and then their personal power and their like passion and identity of self in the sacral chakra starts to suffer. And that's where those bladder infection issues come in, and bladder control issues, like little boys will wet the bed and different things like that. And it can affect them over time into much more serious issues as they evolve into adults. So be aware of your child's environment energetically, what is around them as far as emotions, and what is around them, like what's their school environment look like if they're being bullied, or if they have friends that aren't befriending them anymore, or if they're at home and there's conflict and there's fighting. What does their environment look like? Because that does develop in children into behaviors of them trying to become something they're not in order to create a more safe feeling environment. They may become people pleasers or enablers as adults in life, or they may become narcissistic behaviors and they evolve into an adult narcissist. It depends on what's going on, but be aware of those energies that's around them, because that does manifest into certain behaviors, and then it manifests into illness, and then as adults they come to a medical health intuitive as a client because they can't figure out why they have so many health issues, because they aren't understanding their energy, because they've been in these behaviors so long that it just feels like a way of life to them.